Good day everyone, after a summer's holiday we are back with Master of Orion 2 Battle at Antares. I will be playing Open Challenge 3, which was created by Tech 150, and this is a special game that has its own config. So first I'll show you how that works to load up the config in Master of Orion 2. I'll show you the Explorer here. As you can see, this is the Orion 2-150 folder. This is my default folder for Master of Orion 2. And within that folder I've created the subfolder called mod, MOD, where you can see 4 files: orion3.config, orion3.config.txt. This was the file that I actually loaded from the Civ Fanatics forum. OC3.gum.sve. This is the save file that I downloaded from Civ Fanatics. So these two files are the ones that you download from Civ Fanatics forum if you want to play this open challenge. And then this file I've renamed to save 10, so I can load it in Master of Orion 2 exe. And oc3.config.txt I've renamed to oc3.config. So the important thing to remember is oc3.config sits in my mod folder. You could also choose to put this folder in the default 150 folder, for example, or name mod to whatever you like, but I've chosen for MOD. The save10.game file sits here, but of course it also sits in the root for Master of Orion 2. So I've copied this file to the root. Now if we take a look at the orion2.config file, this is your main config file that is supplied with the 1.5 patch. All this stuff is in here by default. You can see that I've actually commented the set150 config. This is a default config that is on when you play the vanilla version of Master of Orion 2. But in this case we want to play the special config that was supplied for this game. And I've put a line here in custom configs /mods, include mod, which is the folder we just saw, the subfolder, and then oc3.config, which is the config we just saw. Open challenge number 3. So if you change in orion2.config to comment out this line and make a new line in the same way like this one, and I've written on Civ Fanatics forum exactly this line, so you can just copy it in. Then in theory you're ready to play the game. And the ultimate proof, of course, is that you see here in the lower right hand corner Open Challenge 3 for 1.5.4 by Tech 150. So now we're ready to play the game, so let's load it up. This was save number 10, so that's the one we're going to load. And as you can see, we start at turn 1, so turn 0 is done already. And let's see where we are. We are in the upper right corner of the map. This is a huge map, 71 systems. We are at Skaro. And Skaro is a very generous system. We have a medium ocean abundant with a star base, so this was our home world, but there's only one pop on there. Then there's a huge Terran ridge, which has 8 pop. So apparently our pop has been transferred to this world, because it's the better world, obviously. And then there's a medium Terran pore with 15 max population, a large tundra 20 max population pore, and a large arid 70 max population abundant. So this is an excellent system to start your game. Then this is a scout. Our scout has explored Tsath, and that has medium arid poor world with natives, so that's good for farming, and a large arid poor. And this is our second scout. We are the Dalek, by the way. It's a funny name. And the second scout is moving to this unexplored yellow star. So we'll find out next turn what we can see in planets. So now let's take a look at our race. Our race is here, race statistics. As you can see, by the way, this race has 12 traits and the font size has been shrunk so that it can fit 12 or 13 traits. In the old versions, in the classic versions, Warlord would not have been visible, it would just have been off screen, so to say. So we have lowered the fonts for 12 and 13 traits, so you can still see everything that's there. So we are a feudal race with a very low population growth, -50. We are scientific research -1. We are ground combat -10. We're espionage +20. Good on spying. We're aquatic and repulsive, uncreative. So we have to take a look at our tech tree in a minute. We're tolerance, telepath, so it's easy to conquer worlds. We don't need transports. Transdimensional for the extra speed, and warlords. Now let's take a look at our planets. We have 8 guys here, we're building the marine barracks, and we have 208k growth. Okay, so we need to take a look at the config. I've already done that, but this reminds me that we need to take a look. 1 second. Here it is. So this was the config file that we have loaded and that is supplied with the save game. And let's scroll a little bit. Yeah, we can see that here. So basic growth bonus percent is 150. So by default we get extra growth, which you can see here. This is a pretty high number for standard. Normally you get something like 73k, and we have 208k here. So there's an extra bonus for population growth. And it's advisable that you scroll through the config so you can get a feeling of what's going on in there. It's not necessary, of course, you can just start playing the game. One item perhaps to note is the following. Let me see where that is. This config is actually based on the VMod that was supplied until the 1.50.3 version of the game. In this current version we haven't got it anymore. I'm still scrolling. Weapons, here, weapons. Yeah, so I wanted to show you this. The weapons for missiles have changed. Normally a nuclear missile gives you 8 damage and Merculite gives you 14. But in this version of the game they only give you 6 and 12. So it's important to remind that nuclear missiles are a little bit less strong, a little bit less powerful than in the classic game. Alright, let's go back to this screen. If we look in the build queue screen, then actually this is called construction orders screen officially, but most people would call it build screen. You see there's a build queue for marine barracks, freighter fleet and starbase. And there's no housing. So housing is blocked out. You cannot do housing, but you do get the standard growth percent. Then this is kind of funny. All these ships have been made at Doomstar. So none of this is buildable because we don't have Titan and Doomstar technologies. Since we're a feudal race, you actually get a discount for colony ships. So colony ship cost only 334 instead of 500. And the outpost ships cost 134. And normally the classic cost for outpost ship is 100, but in this game it has been upped to 200 costs, production points. And because we're feudal we get the discount, so it's only 134. So these are good things to remember for planning your strategy. So we've seen our race. Let's think about our race a little bit. We are not good at science. We're uncreative and research -1, but we are tolerant, so we won't have pollution. And then we are transdimensional, so our ships will fly a little bit faster. We're warlords, we get the extra command points, and we're telepathic, transdimensional, repulsive, aquatic, so we get food bonus and larger population sizes on the wet planets. And we're good at spying. Okay. The research tree. We see fighter base, planetary missile base, troop pods, armor barracks, battle station, fast missile racks, battloids, recyclotron. So this means we don't have automated factory and we don't have robo miners. So a little bit like Open Challenge 2, we have bad production. And that's not great. That's not great. Chemistry, we have the deuterium fuel cells, which is the most important fuel cells you can have on a huge galaxy. Merculite missile, iridiums are nice, but I rather had no, we're actually fine there because we're tolerant, so we don't need the atmospheric renewer. Okay, so that's good. So fuel cells and Ansortium armor, Xeon missile and thorium fuel cells. For computers we get Dauntless guidance system, so we don't get research labs again, like in OC2. Neural scanner for spying, positronic computer for better beams, cybersecurity link for spying. We already have the plus 20 bonus, mind you, so we're going to be excellent spies. Cybertronic computer, virtual reality network, moleculartronic computer. Physics, we have the first serious beam is neutron blaster and graviton beam. Then plasma cannon and disruptor. In power we have the augmented engines and ion drive. That's actually a good combination. I like for a little bit slower blitzes, I like to have the fusion drive, but in this case augmented engines and ion are nice. Antimatter torpedoes, megafluxes are okay, of course. HyperX capacitors, interface drive. In sociology we have Space Academy. We lack the xeno psychology. In biology we have the hydroponic farm, not the biospheres. Cloning center, telepathic training, again a spy bonus here. Terraforming subterranean farms, intelligence, mutation. Then in force fields, mass driver, gyros, multi-wave ECM jammer, plus 100 bonus for missile evasion. Stealth suits, again spies. Pulsar warp and detector cloaking fields, class 7 shields. So class 7 shields is the first shields for research. And class 10 shields. Alright. So let's look at this. This was our home world with only one population, producing 1 food and 2 in excess. This is our first colony, producing 2 food in excess. So actually we can move this population here. Now we have no excess of food on the rich world, and we have 1 excess here, and we do some producing for a stockpile. Okay. Personally I always take colony ship to stockpile. It's more or less the same. It takes a long time to build something. You're just queuing up build points basically. We have 0 production stored, and it takes 112 turns to build this colony ship. We have a capital and a marine barracks. And on this world, on this world we have nothing. Actually, that reminds me of one other thing I like to do, and that is in the config I will disable vsync, save the file, and then in the main screen I'll press Alt RE, config is reloaded, and now you can see screen switching goes really fast because I've disabled vsync. Okay. So I guess we're done for this kind of turn 1 preparation video. And in the second video we'll actually start playing this game. And so see you in the next video. Bye bye.